Hey guys, welcome back to another unedited Let's Play of Andromeda 6 Sci-Fi Otome game. I think I'm on part 6 now. And once again, I have yet to meet Redhead. I don't know why it's taking so long. Well, I know why, because I've been doing 30-minute playthroughs, but I have to do 30-minute playthroughs or I'll play the whole game at once, and I really don't want to do that. Okay. Let me load game. So far. Okay, to catch people up. Where do I start? I woke up. Well, you can always watch my other playthroughs. Honestly, I don't recommend it because I feel like they're kind of embarrassing anyways. So don't watch them. Actually, just listen to the recap because not much has happened. I woke up on a ship with amnesia. I met June. I don't know what he does on the ship, but he's like golden retriever energy. And then I met the ship medic, which is Riona, who we're gonna see here. And then I met Bash, the engineer. Riona is super chill, like calm person. Bash is also sort of golden retriever energy, but in a different way, because Bash is like really like fun, and then June is just really nice. Like he has the nice part. And then we met Damon, who's the assassin on the ship, which, okay, sir. He's also second in command, which I didn't know until yesterday or the day before yesterday. And then we met Calderon, who's the captain of the ship. And, Ayame. She's the second female that you can pursue. And she's just really fun. Really fun person. Her and Bash, I feel like, would have been a power couple, but you know, I don't think they ever. I don't think they're interested in each other. Okay. So, we met them, and then right now we're on a planet called Terranium, and we're on the planet to get parts for a hole in the ship, and we're at a club. We hung out with Calderon and Damon, and then we hung out with June and Ayame at the strip club. She was pole dancing. And now we're finally at the casino, which is where Bash and Riona are. Yeah. Man, my recaps are gonna be longer and longer, huh? Okay, well, let's get started. Okay. 3 other patrons are seated. Oh, wait, let me start my 30-minute timer. Okay. 3 other patrons are seated at the same table, a small creature with a bored look on her face, and a beautiful Catalfan couple, who look far too finely dressed for a place like this. Dealing a set of cards in front of each seat is a woman, who curiously I notice has 4 arms. As I step closer to the table, I realize that while her upper arms look natural enough, the bottom are completely robotic, much like Bash's, and assist her with dealing the cards at lightning speed. So there are 3 different species that I know of, which is Catalfan, Talaran, and human. And humans get like augments and stuff like that. I'm sure other species can get augments too, but it seems to me that mostly humans get augments. Last chance to place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Bash pushes a stack of chips further onto the table, and as I step up behind him, I finally notice Riona at his side. It would be an understatement to say that the look on her face at the sight of his bet is one of pure horror. Sebastian, that amount of money would be enough to feed the entire crew for a month. What are you thinking? Bash sits back in his seat, arms folded casually over his chest, and a lopsided grin on his lips. I know what I'm doing, Rai. This is how they draw you in, you know? You get a few wins, and then next thing you know, it's completely gone over your head, and you end up losing everything. Next thing, you'll be betting the ship itself. Bash snorts at her accusation, and Riona looks less than impressed by the reaction. And risk the unholy wrath of our dear old captain? Not likely. I watch their argument, if that's what it can be called, with mild amusement. It ends when Riona. I should have a counter for every time I mess up, since I don't edit my videos. It ends when Riona crosses her arms over her chest, turning slightly away from Bash, and purses her lips into what I can only describe as a pout. Forgetting the angry Talari for a moment, Riona is Talari. I'm Catalfan, and you can choose between those 3 species I mentioned before when you start the game. Okay. Bash leans closer to me, his voice an excited whisper. The rules are simple, my friend. If the card shows 3 crowns, you get another draw. The hourglass represents 12. That's a high card. In this one here, I stare at him, utterly perplexed, and his voice fades away into nothing. What exactly about any of that is simple? Bash studies me for a moment, before giving a casual shrug of his shoulders and clearing his throat intently. Just watch what I do. You'll pick it up soon enough. I don't gamble. Riona and I share her look. By the deep grooves forming on her forehead, I'd say she's less than pleased about the situation. Can't we find something else to do? That sounds so bratty. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm watching. I give a nod of my head, indicating that I'm paying attention. Riona clicks her tongue, unimpressed. I guess the other one would have, like, given me an affection towards Riona. I wonder for a moment why she chooses to hang around if she despises gambling so much, but then assume it's to ensure that, despite what he says, Bash doesn't actually bet the ship, or something equally important. The dealer flips another card, and Bash's lips quirk further. It bears the image of a goblet. I'm not... Oh, the card bears the image of a goblet, not Bash's lips. Okay, I was like, what does a goblet look like? Okay. We got this in the bag, 11. I hope you're ready to win some serious credits. Practically shaking with excitement, Bash drums his fingers on the table, unblinking as his gaze follows the dealer's swift movements. Oh, I remember now. The dealer flips the final card, 4 feather quills. My eyes dart to his face, expecting to find a triumphant smile, but instead I'm met with a look of pure horror. Oh no! This is why you don't gamble. That was supposed to be 2 crossed swords. This young lady is the winner. The dealer gestures to the small creature at the end of the table and slides the small creature, that little like schlub looking thing, and slides a considerable amount of chips over to her, which she chirps at happily. Now look what you've done. I told you. Bash places a hand on her arm to calm her before she can finish her sentence, and she stops abruptly. Relax a little, will you? Enjoy yourself. We have enough trouble to deal with later. It's just a bit of fun, yeah? Let me buy you a drink. I look at Riona, who seems anything but relaxed. In fact, she's been quite on edge ever since we landed on Terranium. She leans in to whisper something to Bash, and I only just catch her words over the buzz surrounding us. Don't forget what happened the last time I was on this planet. Bash fixes his eyes on Riona, both bionic and real. I'd never forget. He smiles at her for a moment, and I swear his face is somehow softer. They banged. Calderon and Damon, and now Bash and Riona. I don't know how I'm supposed to fall in love with people. I guess we were supposed to have a threesome. It suddenly occurs to me how close the 2 of them seem. I can't. This whole ship just has their own pairs, you know? How am I supposed to squeeze in, you know? Threesome it is. Sorry, I got sidetracked. It suddenly occurs to me how close the 2 of them seem, and I wonder if there's more to the relationship than meets the eye. I just said that. Deciding to try and lighten the mood, I clap a hand on Bash's shoulder, squeezing it gently in a show of support. Better luck next time. If it's any consolation, I had fun. Every time I hear better luck next time, I think of that one, Doja Cat song. For Morant or something like that. I feel like if you say better luck next time in a certain tone, it sounds very mocking. So I'm just gonna say if it's any consolation, I had fun. I feel a little bad for him, but at the same time, it was fun. Well, for what it's worth, I had fun. Of course you did. Who wouldn't have fun here? Oh, he looks so happy. Bash gives Riona a pointed look, who only huffs an impatient breath and pretends not to notice. But we should probably take a break. It's important to know when to stop. Or whatever Riona says. I don't really get it, to be honest. The dealer throws us an impatient look, and Bash quickly ushers Riona and I away from the table. I just don't want to see you fall into more than you can handle. Gambling can become an addiction. You know that. Bash shushes Riona and stops her with his hands on either side of her arms, giving her a more serious look. I appreciate that you worry about me, Rai. I really do. But it's just one night of letting loose and having some fun. How about you push aside that little medic voice in your head and have some fun with us? Nothing bad will happen, I promise. I get the impression that Riona is trying to resist, but the worry swiftly fades from her face, followed instead by a look of defeat. Fine, but I'm holding you to that promise. Bash grins in triumph, accepting her resignation by ruffling her hair affectionately, to which she hisses at him in annoyance. See, I can see Ayame and June having a brother-sister type of relationship, but Bash and Riona, nah. Riona gives him a pointed look before letting out a long, tired sigh. You two do what you want. I'm going to go and find somewhere a little quieter to wait this all out. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on the table. Jump back in when things are picking up again. So for this playthrough, actually, I've been choosing choices I've never chosen before. So I'm just gonna continue that trend with going with Riona. I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed in the casino. Finding a quiet spot with Riona sounds more than appealing right now. Actually, I did choose this before, I remember. I'm going to go with Riona. It's a little too much for me. Oh, it's a little too much in here for me. Stretching his arms over his head, Bash smiles at us. See you later then. Look after each other, alright? With a wave goodbye, Bash starts off, most likely in search of another table to join. Shaking my head, I turn to follow Riona as she makes her way across the room and back through the club. When we exit the club and step onto the street, I can't say it's any quieter than it was inside, but at least it's easier to breathe out here. Riona turns to me, a sheepish smile tilting her lips. This place suffocates me a bit. If you want to go back in, you're welcome to. I wanted to spend some time with you. It doesn't matter if it's in there or out here. I glance down the street at the vendors selling the wares from wooden stalls, and the various food carts sending plumes of scented smoke into the air. It's just as crowded as it was in the club, with all sorts of people rushing back and forth, and from our spot, leaning against the front wall of the building, we take it all in. Riona smiles at me, and I can tell she's glad I came along. I'm sorry if I seem difficult, but sometimes I feel like I don't fit in anywhere. You may not have noticed, but there aren't exactly a lot of Talari on this planet. Almost none, in fact. I had noticed. It would be hard not to, but I can't say that I understand why. I'm sensing there's more to your story than you've told me. Why did you really leave Talarin? Riona silently holds my gaze, as if deciding how much she should tell me. After a moment, she bites down on her lip, her bright yellow eyes fixed on the dusty ground between us. My childhood was very strict. My father is a member of the Council of Eons, Talarin's ruling government, and my mother is the director of Katem, the largest medical facility on the planet. As I'm sure you can imagine, these are incredibly demanding and powerful positions. Riona wrings her hands together nervously, as if waiting for some kind of reaction, but all I can do is watch how her luminescent skin wanes when she speaks, glowing dimmer by the second. They didn't have much time for me when I was growing up, but I was still expected to behave as if they were always watching, because, well, there was always someone watching me. I had to be the perfect daughter, dedicated, well-mannered, disciplined, but it felt like I was a prisoner. She lets out a soft sigh, fixing me with a worried look. Don't get me wrong, I love my planet, but the beliefs many of the Talari have there are backwards. We used to help those who needed aid, but more often than not, travelers are being turned away, and the Talari are closing themselves off from the rest of the world. She gives me a sad smile, as if apologizing for saying so much. We used to be better. I wanted to be better. That's why I left. And you joined the Andromeda 6 crew? Not quite. That happened a few years later. I traveled with a group of Talari called the Archangels. We went from planet to planet, offering aid where we could. But She trails off, hands shaking at her sides at whatever memories she's been trying to ward off before. Whoa. Hands shaking at her sides as whatever memories she's been trying to ward off before now crash over her. Her face falls in an instant and she covers her mouth with a hand, her eyes squeezed shut tight. I step forward to put a comforting hand on her shoulder, feeling her body shake with emotion. I'm so sorry. This planet brings back a lot of bad memories. I'd rather not talk about it right now if you don't mind. That's perfectly fine. I understand. Do you want to go back to the ship? Can I do anything to help? I'm here for you. It's kind of weird to be flirting when somebody is like pouring their heart out. Like, it makes me feel sleazy. Kind of manipulative. I mean, the responses aren't like at all, you know, can I do anything to help? I'm here for you. But the fact that it says like parentheses flirt, you know, at least it's telling us what we can do to earn her affection. But I don't like it. Do you want to go back to the ship? If this place holds such bad memories, it may be better for her to be somewhere more comfortable. I can take you back to the ship if you like. Riona sniffles, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand and giving me a watery smile. I'm guessing the Archangels are like Doctors Without Borders or something. They're just going planet to planet helping as many people as they can. I'll be alright. No need to cut the night short because of me. I appreciate the thought though. Thank you, 11. My annotation is terrible, but whatever. Riona takes a deep breath to compose herself, looking around the street, and I'm relieved to see that she's feeling better. I think I'll go and have a drink with Bash after all. I should probably apologize for being so hard on him earlier. I don't think he took it too harshly, but I'm sure he'd enjoy your company. She beams at me, her delicate features glowing under the light of the moon. We should... Before she finishes her sentence, two men walk past, their eyes visibly narrowed on the pair of us. One man, a human with corded lights weaving through his skin, steps uncomfortably close and growls in Riona's face. Fuck off, Talari bitch. We don't want your kind here. The other one, a Catalfin, spits at our feet before the two of them stroll off, shoulders pulled back and their chests puffed as though they own the very ground they tread. Why is that giving me Bakugo vibes? I'm kind of weak right now, so I'm just gonna, you know, do nothing. I'm just gonna, yeah, let it, water and something about a duck or something. I don't dare breathe a word. I can only imagine what the captain would say if the two of us ended up in a brawl outside the club. The very place he told me not to go. Exactly, I don't want to stir up trouble. And he didn't even spit on me, you know, he spit on the ground. Having only just secured my place on the A6, I'm not a fan of losing it now. Just 1 minute. How dare you speak to us like that, you unwashed miscreant. Oh, Riona, go on. Riona, what the hell did you say to me? Nice to see you're deaf as well as the- Oh, shit. Or could it be that you can't take it as well as you can dish it out? He points a grubby finger in her face as he advances. His eyes reduced to two slits of eerie neon blue. Listen, lady, I'm not above smacking those words right out of your mouth. Riona folds her arms across her chest defiantly, raising one perfectly pale eyebrow at him. I'd like to see you try. Is there a problem here? Ah, June coming to the rescue every time. I love my June. My blood runs cold at the sound of the dark grass behind us, and when I turn, it's to find June staring the men down. It's like he smells danger, his face thunderous and cold. Any glimmer of kindness is gone, replaced instead by a look I've never seen on him before, and I can't say why, but something about it terrifies me. I might have to go back to June as my, love interest. When June moves in front of Riona and I, shielding us from the stranger and his friend, all I can see are the muscles of his back and shoulders tensing through his clothes. He almost seems bigger somehow, though I know that can't be possible. You think you can take us on, pretty boy? Well, at least they acknowledge that he's pretty. The man sneers at June, his lips pulled back from straight white teeth, until the Catalfin slams a hand on his friend's shoulder, pulling him back and whispering in a terrified voice. Not this one, man. He's one of them. The man gives his friend a quizzical look, eyebrows raised in annoyance. What are you? And when he looks at June next, his eyes go wide, and he backs up slowly, one foot behind the other, his mouth opening and closing like a goldfish. Another second later, and the two of them are scrambling down the street, almost falling over each other in their desperate attempts to disappear in the crowd. I let out a breath of relief, though when I look at Riona, her face is still twisted in an anger I've never seen from her. June stands firmly fixed to the spot, the only signs of movement the way his shoulders rise and fall with short, shallow breaths. June? I step toward him, hand outstretched and my heart pounding in my ears. My throat tightens uncomfortably. A wave of unwarranted nausea and terror snaking through my veins. Whatever those men had seen in June, it had shaken them to the core, and I wasn't so sure I wanted to know why. My fingers slowly slide over his arms, tugging gently and bringing him back to reality. When he finally turns, the ghost of his easy smile slides back into place, and though it doesn't quite reach his eyes this time. I let out the breath I'd been holding in, my shoulders slumping as relief floods through me, and as I finally remember what had brought him here, June's eyebrows dip in worry. I was looking for the two of you everywhere. We needed your help inside. It's Ayame. Riona throws him an alarmed look before hurrying back in the club. But before I can do the same, June stops me with a hand on my arm. Are you okay, 11? Oh, he's so nice. Why do I like Calderon so much when June's right here? Well, I take it back. I like everybody equally. I just really like Calderon's story. That's the difference. I nod, pushing down whatever curiosity is gnawing at me to discover what had those two men so terrified of him. I'm fine. Don't worry about me, June. He gently reaches up to run his fingers over the side of my face, and I know in this moment that no matter what, I can never be afraid of him. Oh my gosh. I'd never let anything bad happen to you. You have to know that. Okay, June. My baby boy, I'm coming back. I'm not romancing Calderon anymore. I smile, trying to reassure him that I really am okay, and when he finally relents with a nod of his head, we head back into the club together. June leads us to a small storage room off to the side of the bar, and we rush inside to find Aya seated on a stack of boxes, her arm held protectively against her stomach. Aw, man, she got stabbed. She attempts to smile, but it doesn't last long until she's groaning in pain and cursing under her breath. Riona lets out a small sound and rushes to her side. What have you done to yourself now? It wasn't my fault. Some asshole was trying to grab me, so I decked him. I swear I heard Riona mumble, "Not again," under her breath, but over the music pumping throughout the club, I can't be sure. Can you help her, Rai? I'll go and round up the others. Yes, we'll be fine. 11 can help me with this. June leaves the room, shutting the door behind him as he goes, and I step next to Riona, waiting for instructions. Surprised you're not running after Loverboy there. Aya winks at me, though Riona is the one who growls at her to be serious, and I can't keep the satisfied smile from sliding onto my face. I wonder if it's always June that helps me out. Yeah, that makes sense, because he was the one who was with Ayame. Yeah, never mind. Aya, what have I told you about getting into bar fights? That I should do it only if I know I'm gonna win? Riona gives her a withering glare, and Aya lets out a guilty bubble of laughter. Oh, don't worry, it wasn't much of a fight. What happened? Did you punch a wall? That sounds so stupid. What kind of question is, did you punch a wall? What happened? Nothing much really. Something clearly did. Aya cocks her head to the side a little, making a face while she mulls over exactly how much to tell us. Let's just say it's generally never a good idea to punch someone who has a bionic face. Aya, what were you thinking? Aya shrugs, the silver tips of her hair falling casually around her shoulders. That I wanted to shut the prick up? Aya bit back a string of curses as Riona took her hand and flipped it over to check the damage. So where's the guy now? Probably crying in a corner. Probably off crying in a corner. Pretty sure I gave his tin can a nice dent. A kind reminder not to touch people like that. I thought June broke you guys apart. Oh, he did. I'll try. Can you take it easy? Take it easy, will you? That's what you get for throwing punches in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, okay? Riona merely raises an eyebrow at her, and Aya's smile immediately slides back in place. Sorry. Sorry I didn't hit him harder, that is. Ayame is the person I want to be. Like, she's so free and like chill, and I wish I was like Ayame. An ungraceful snort escapes me, and even Riona has a hard time keeping the smile off her face. How bad is her hand, Riona? It looks like it might be broken or fractured at the very least. I'll have to run some scans to know for sure. 11, will you see if you can get me a bowl of ice from the bar? It will help with the swelling until we can get Aya back to the ship. Of course. Closing the door behind me when I leave the room, I start heading toward the bar in search of a bowl of ice. I lean against the counter, immediately regretting this decision when I feel the stickiness of who knows what stuck to my sleeves. Disgusted, I turn back around, stopping in my tracks when a glint of red catches my eye. Are we meeting him? Stopping in my tracks when a glint of red catches my eye between the sea of bodies in the room. I can't explain why, but something about that particular shade of red seems so familiar. Before I even realize what I'm doing, my feet are already weaving through the room, pushing between the dozens of people around me. When did this bar get so crowded? Oi, watch it! Sorry. I mumble an apology, too fixated on the trail I'm on to stop now. When I get a little closer, I realize that what I've been following is a shock of red hair. The man stops at the exit, looking around a little before disappearing through the door and out into the street. My heart pumps in my chest with an urgency I can't explain, and a voice in my head whispers, "Follow him, over and over, so utterly relentless that I hear nothing else. I fall behind, desperately pushing my way through the last few feet of the crowd, growing hot and sweaty between so many bodies. When I finally reach the exit, I stop to catch my breath, looking up and down the crowded street for any sign of the man. Damn, whoever wrote this, I love it. I see nothing but the usual vendors and street food carts, but I know he must be around here somewhere. He couldn't have just vanished into thin air. Breathlessly, I pick a direction, letting my feet guide me until I'm standing at the mouth of a dimly lit alleyway, a single solitary streetlight casting an eerie glow over the broken furniture and old trash littering the ground. Deciding I'd rather not chance an encounter in a dingy old alley, I turn to head back to the club, stopping only when a noise echoes through the darkness, the sound of breaking glass. I hesitate, ear turned toward the alleyway, listening for any sign of movement. With a newfound determination, I straighten up and muster my courage, taking one step and then another into the darkness. A thought enters my mind as I put one foot in front of the other. It could be a trap, and like an idiot, I didn't tell any of the crew where I was going when I left the club. I fumble with the leather sheath that Damon gave me earlier, buckled around my thigh, and pull out the dagger, holding it tight in my hand. I wasn't so sure about it earlier, but I'm glad I decided to take it, knowing that if worst comes to worst, I can defend myself. Steeling my nerves, I creep through the alley, toward the source of the noise, only to find it empty. I look around, peering as far through the darkness as my eyes can manage, though all I find are shadows. Was it just a rat? You shouldn't follow strangers into dark alleyways, sorry. I just love him so much. Well, I love all the characters, but oh my gosh, he was my first route, and I just... first routes really hit different. Okay. A voice startles me from behind, cool breath skittering over my skin and sending a shiver down my spine. But I can't turn around. I can't move, after feeling the brush of a cold blade against my throat. And with a dagger no bigger than a butter knife. You're not even holding it right. He leans closer still, and when he speaks again, his voice is a seductively dark rasp in my ear. Who are you, and why were you following me? I swallow thickly around the lump of fear in my throat, trying to keep my cool. My name is 11. The man behind me sucks in a breath and spins me to face him, cutting my words short. I can't see his face clearly through the shadows, but I feel his eyes raking over me, and the shock dripping from him when he takes a step back and lets out a shaky breath. It can't be. No. Princess 11, you're alive? Fuck! End of episode 2. Come on. Episode 3 rebooting. Oh my gosh. Princess 11. What? What is happening? Princess 11? Vex. Oh my gosh. He smiles when I turn around, and something in my stomach feels lighter. It's been a year since we first met. A year and 1 day and 22 hours, to be precise. But who's counting? Oh my gosh! And I still remember that day like it was only yesterday. All ready for the masquerade? With a small nod, I gestured to my outfit, silently gauging his reaction. I'd had one of the servants pick it out for me earlier. A young human who seemed to know a thing or two about the latest fashion. Vex nods in approval as he takes in my appearance, and I turn a little to let him get a glimpse of the entire thing. It isn't often I have an excuse to wear anything so fine. Being the youngest of the Pegasi children, I'm often confined to one section of the palace, and never invited to any of the royal functions, save the odd wedding or funeral. My gaze settles on him, nerves getting the best of me now that we're ready to leave, though he only smiles at me reassuringly. He's the only person who smiles at me in this place, the only one who even cares about my happiness, except for... Do you really think this is a good idea? What if someone recognizes me? One corner of his mouth tilts into that knowing smirk I've come to look forward to every day, the one that makes it seem like he has a secret, something he wouldn't tell anyone but me. That's what the mask is for. Taking the lacquered mask from my hand, he steps slowly behind me, positioning it in front of my eyes and tying it by the ribbon. And tying it, but I can't speak because I'm already in love. And tying it by the ribbon behind my head. I bite down on my lip, dread warming its way down to my bones. He has as much to lose if we get caught as I do. Perhaps even more. My hands shake at my sides, and Vex puts a reassuring hand on my shoulder to keep me still. We snuck out of the place yesterday and into the city to visit that cafe you love so much. And still you're afraid of a little masquerade ball? I tilt my head slightly to make a face at him, wrinkling my nose to show that it's hardly the same thing. Yes, the city. Not right under my nose, not right under my parents' noses for all to see. It's then that Vex steps in front of me, his fox-like face and sharp eyes facing me head-on, and a soft smile gracing his lips. Gosh, he looks so soft. Nothing bad will happen to you, 11. I promise. Boy, I might change my mind again and go for Vex. Okay, story-wise, I really like Calderon. Personality-wise, I actually really like Vex and June. I'm kissing his cheek. I'm kissing his cheek, okay? I step forward and place a soft kiss on his cheek, feeling the smile that lifts the corner of his lips. I trust you to keep me safe, Vex. When I whisper in his ear, he hums his approval, stopping me with a hand on my waist before I can pull back again. And how do you know you're safe from me? Heat floods my cheeks and my pulse spikes. I have to admit to myself that I like the way he's looking at me, like a fox stalking its next meal. I mean, who doesn't love a bodyguard ex-princess story? Ugh. He reaches out to smooth a wrinkle on my dress, his fingers so gentle when he touches me. I'll be by your side the entire time. I know he's telling the truth, and I trust him so much that the nerves start to settle, and I manage a small smile of my own. As a member of the Royal Guard, Vex Seraph has sworn to protect my life against any danger that may befall me. But there's more than that. He isn't just a guard. He's my friend. My only friend. When he holds his arm out, I take it with a renewed confidence, letting him lead me toward the secret passage off to the side. This passage comes out on the other side of the palace, just beside the large oil painting of my grandfather, and the entrance to the library. There are many passages like this, and Vex and I have explored them all. I know I should feel guilty about this, disobeying a direct order from my parents to keep to the confines of the palace's south wing, and instead running wild and unseen through the very depths of the place, and with a member of the Royal Guard no less. We're almost there. Vex squeezes my arm gently as we navigate through the div. Ah! Do you hear my alarm? No! I'm sorry. We have to save. I have to follow my rules, or I'll just play this game till it ends. And I can't edit anything, because 30 minutes is already too much for my computer. Okay, I'm saving. Episode 3, prom night. I have to figure out what to do for my thumbnail, because there wasn't really anything interesting. Man, why are thumbnails so hard to figure out? Anyways, what's my outro? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in playing the games yourselves, it's available on itch.io. It's free, and, well, it's free, but you can always choose to pay some money to support the creators, the developers, and you know, other hard workers. But yeah, uh, until next time, and we can. I really need to figure out who I'm gonna romance, cause. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye bye.